Loud. And I'm going to mute everybody. Fantastic. So what was coming up for me for today was work avoidance. Now, I don't know if you're like me. Oh my God. Okay, I always say I'm not a morning person. And I think people probably think I'm weird when I say this. I would rather stay awake all night into the wee hours of the morning and beyond than sleep regular time and wake up first in the morning. That concept is still foreign to me. Don't ask me where I got that from, but just tell me to stay awake all night. I have no problem. And I will stay awake 24 hours, 48 hours, you name it. And I'll keep going. I'm fine. But once I go to sleep and you tell me to set my alarm to wake up at some time in the morning, oh my God. You haven't seen anybody snooze an alarm like this chickie here. Oh my God. Oh, Virginia. I'm glad I have company. Daisy. Yes. I thought I was the only one. Oh my God. So that is the first example of work avoidance that I want to give. I snooze that baby, that alarm. It's like I squeeze as much time as I can get out of it till the very last second. And sometimes I'm cutting it really fine. So I'm going to give you a few examples of what I've done recently. And I'm going to tell you what I've done to like get myself out of that rut, because when you get in there, it's not good for checklists. It's not good for getting things done. It's not good for getting to appointments on time. It's just not good for productivity, right? And we all want to be successful at what we're doing. So that work avoidance thing is not going to work long term. If we want to achieve our goals, that is not the way to be. So first, I'm going to start with one example, and I'm going to tell you what I've done to get myself out of there. Now, I don't know if where you are, you have like a proper spring. Right now, it has been so wet and so windy. I'm kind of like, are we back in winter or what? Like, what's going on, right? So if anybody knows me, I'm a very active person. I like being out there. I like going to the gym. I like walking around. I like going for a run. And so I set my alarm and I said, okay, fine. I know I'm working from home, but I will set my alarm and I'll get out there and I'll do my run or I'll do my walk because I want to get my steps in, right? So I set the alarm and I'm kind of like, okay, I've sent an email. I've got my next call at 5:30. Okay, so I know I can go for a walk. I can squeeze in maybe 10,000 steps between this hour and that hour. And then I can do another session like after my last call in the evening, just before I wind down, whatever. So I kind of like plan my day that way. So I've set the alarm for 1 o'clock, right? And I'm saying, yeah, lunch hour, you're going to be out there walking, right? And it's 12 noon and it's raining. And I'm saying, man, it's raining, right? So I've set the alarm. And I know it's going to go off at 1, but it's raining. And so I'm saying to myself, well, it's raining. Maybe I can have a lie down, or maybe I can watch this TV program, or maybe I can have my sandwich instead, or maybe I do everything but get into my walking shoes or get into my walking gear. I find something else to do. That's when I want to fold the laundry. That's when I want to suddenly hoover, like the carpet. That I've seen something, it's been there all day, but suddenly that's when I want to do that other thing, as opposed to get into my tracksuit, get into my sneakers, and get ready to walk at 1. Anyhow, so I've set the alarm and I set it for 1:45 so that I kind of like got a reminder. I don't want it at 1 because I want to be out the door at 1. So I set it at 1:45. Goes off at 1:45. What do? Snooze. When I snooze, my shoes are right by the door. My keys are right by the door, coat, umbrella, everything I'm going to need, because yeah, it was raining at 12 noon. The kind of weather we've had 4 seasons in one day sometimes, right? And so I say to myself, everything's by the door. So all I have to do is just slip into my shoes and I'm good to go. But at 1:45, when that alarm has gone off and I've snoozed it, that's when I suddenly go into the kitchen and I decide, okay, maybe I should prep what I'm going to have when I get back. Now, it's going to take me longer than 15 minutes, right, to prep what I need to prep for when I get back. But I get started on that. Why? Because I'm trying to find every possible excuse not to get into those shoes and get walking. Why? Because it was raining at 12. So I know it's going to be damp. It's going to be wet. There are going to be puddles out there. My sneakers are going to be soaked. My socks, everything, right? So in my head, I'm already making excuses as to why I shouldn't go for that walk. Or maybe I should just do the evening walk, right? And not do the afternoon walk because it's been raining. So in my head, I'm having this full-on conversation, right? I'm already in my walking gear. The last thing I need to do is my shoes and my coat to pick up my umbrella and out the door. But I'm still debating with myself in my head because I don't want to do that walk. Bottom line, if I'm going to be honest with myself, looking in the mirror, I'm saying to myself, what I really don't want to do is go out for that walk, right? I've set the alarm, I've done everything, it's good to go. But I now start finding things around the house. That's when suddenly, oh my God, my desk could be neater, right? Everything is already in its place, right? But that's when I want to make sure all the pens are covered and, the papers are, just so. And I'm thinking, Ivié, what is wrong with you, right? The alarm goes off again. It's 5 to 1. Now I've got 5 minutes. By this time, I should be putting on my shoes, putting on my jacket. But no, what am I doing? I've gone into my bedroom thinking, maybe I left something on, or maybe, I didn't quite make the bed properly. So I go and I smooth the corners out. It's already made because that's the first thing I do. As soon as I get out of bed, I make the bed, right? But once again, like we say in South Africa, I'm faffing around. Like I'm looking for everything possible to do. And I'm pushing the time limit. I want to be out the door at 1. It's 5 to 1 and I'm still messing about, right? So of course the alarm goes off again at 12:57, 3 minutes. By this time, shoes should be on, jacket on. You know where I'm going with this, right? 1 o'clock, I'm still not out the door. And I eventually have to say to myself, you know what? Are you going to do this or aren't you going to do this? Because if you're not going to do this, you might as well just be true to yourself and get on whatever else you'd rather be doing, right? So what have I done now? I've said to myself, 12 noon. So it's not setting the alarm at 1:45, right? The alarm is still going to go off at 1:45. But at 12 noon, not only am I in my gear, I put my shoes on. It doesn't matter that it's raining outside, right? And already I'm preparing for the walk. So what do? As I walk around the house, I'm actually doing a power walk to get, my joints moving, to get my body warmed up. Because I'm saying to myself, if I can get my head and my body in the zone, before it's 1 o'clock, I'm out that door. So I'm already in my gear. I've now put my shoes on. And even though I know I'm walking about the house looking for stuff to do, I'm picking up the pace. Suddenly, my blood pressure is up. Body tempo is up. And I'm thinking, oh, wow, I'm loving this. It doesn't matter that it's wet outside. It doesn't matter that it's now drizzling again. I've kind of like gotten myself into that, well, you've already started walking. Might as well just, get on with it, right? And so I find myself, when the alarm goes off at 1:45, I'm ready to be out the door. Purely because I put my shoes on at 12 noon and I started power walking in the house. So my blood pressure, juices are flowing. I'm already in the zone. I've got the music already playing. So I'm already upbeat and I'm like, okay, fine. So we're going to pick up the pace and we're going to do this. And then I'm already saying to myself, how many laps am I going to do? You all know I've moved into this massive complex, right? So what I've done now is, and every time I switch it up on myself, just to keep it interesting. So I'm not doing the same routine. It doesn't get bored. So I kind of like said to myself, okay, today we're going to do 5 of this, 5 of that. And by the time I'm done, the hour would have gone by and I'll be all done. So I'm kind of like psyching myself up. But because the music is going, I picked up the pace indoors, I'm already mentally prepared to do that. So that's one example of how I could snooze. And sometimes I confess, I don't go for that walk. But since I started doing this, where I start playing the music before I'm actually out the door, I find that my head, my body, everything is in sync. And I'm already in that mindset and I'm looking forward to the walk, right? So that's one thing I've done. What's the second thing I've done? So with my boss at work, there's certain parts of what I do that I really don't enjoy. Like, I'm going to be honest, I'm not an admin person. All those bits of you got to file this and you got to set this assurance email. I mean, all of that I'm like, I understand why we need to do it, but I just feel sometimes it's a waste of time. But it's stuff I need to do because it's somebody's job to make sure that compliance-wise, once again, we can give the board the assurance that we are compliant with all the policies, with all the rules. And so somebody has to check that and somebody has to report back on that. But I need to give them the info, the data for them to be able to say, yes, we're compliant. So what I've said now, I've actually given my word to my boss and I've said, by the 10th of every month, you are going to get this, because the person who needs the data has to give the compliance report on the 25th of the month. But what I found in myself back then, like a few months ago, I would leave it till the 20th. And of course, 20th is approaching month end. And so stuff is happening and then stuff picks up the pace. And there's always an excuse. So I'd find myself at 4:45 on the 25th, like frantically trying to send off this assurance email to say, I'm so sorry it's late. And I'm constantly apologizing to this woman who's waiting for the data from me, right? And so I said, you know what if she has to cross-check something? What if I've made a mistake and she wants me to redo something? I don't give her enough time to look at what I've sent her, right? And so I said, no, that is not the way I like to work. And so it's not fair to make somebody else work that way. So I've said to my boss now, on the 10th of every month, he's going to get my assurance report. Because once he gets it and he says he's fine with it, I can send it to this woman. She gets it more than 2 weeks in advance. So if there's anything that's wrong with it, she's got more than enough time to get back to me. And because I've made my boss an accountability partner of sorts, I know that this is going to come up in my performance conversations. It will come up in my annual appraisals. And so because I've said it and because I've given my word to my boss and I know he's going to hold me to task for this, if I drop the ball, this lady can also go to my boss and say, look, I've been waiting for this assurance email from Ivié and I haven't received it. So now to make myself not leave it to the last minute, which I did, oh my God, for years. I hate to say this, I did it for years. I've now put myself in such a tight spot that I don't have much wiggle room. So those are two examples of how I love to avoid stuff. I mean, I'm hands up. I'm not perfect. I mean, oh my God, I'm so not perfect, right? And these are just two simple examples that I have avoided doing what it is I'm supposed to do purely because sometimes I can't be bothered, to be honest. And sometimes I'm like, you know what? I'm such a lazy bum. I leave it to the last possible second because I don't think it's interesting or I don't feel like it or the weather is not playing ball. Whatever the excuse is in my head, I'm avoiding work, period, right? So those are two very like flimsy examples that I can give. But you can imagine if that is my attitude with something like that, I can do the exact same thing with something more serious, right? So last week, so this is the third example I'm going to give. So last week, Wednesday, I had a weight session with my personal trainer and it was for 7 p.m. So I know I need to leave my house at 6. It takes me about half an hour to drive to where I park my car. And then what I do, I walk about 20 minutes to the gym because then by the time I get to the gym, I'm all warmed up. My muscles are fine because I've done a brisk walk to the gym. So I'm ready to like go straight into the weights, right? Because I've been sitting all day at my computer, like, you know, sending emails, working on documents. And so I need that wake me up kind of thing before I get to the weight session. I know it's going to be brutal. I know the weights are going to be heavy. I know he's going to make me do reps. I know he's going to put me on some new machine. I know I'm going to hurt the next 2 days. And so I say to myself, how do I get in the zone by the time I get there? Well, last week, Wednesday, I had a very light day at work. Usually Wednesdays are like my super busy days of work. I'm literally from the second I get up to second I have to leave the house, I'm back-to-back meetings on a Wednesday. But for some reason, last Wednesday was just one of those strange days. So I didn't know what to do with myself because usually I'm on from one call to another. There's no lunch, there's no nothing on the average Wednesday. But this Wednesday, I think my last call ended at 3. And so I had 3 hours to kill between the last meeting and when I had to leave for the gym. Well, in those 3 hours, I think I was besides myself. I had no idea what to do to fill that time. I mean, there's stuff I could have done, but I did everything I could have done, but what I should have done, if that makes sense. So on that Wednesday, I prepped dinner before I left for the gym. I mean, usually I do, but I kind of like thought, okay, I've got a bit more time so I can be more like, you know, super planned and I can do something fancier for dinner. Usually it's like, oh my God, I walk in, I'm starving. It's like the first thing my hands touch in the fridge, that's what I'm having for dinner, you know. But I thought, okay, this Wednesday I've got a bit more time. Let's make dinner interesting. So I said, chopping this, grating that, pureeing that. And I'm thinking, okay, everything's chop, chop, chop. Like, okay, this is done. So I put that in the container, I wrapped this in foil. Before I knew it, it was 5:30. And I thought, crikey, oh my God, I'm not in my gym gear, haven't packed my gym bag. Now, usually my gym bag is pre-packed, but because I'd washed like I have, for my hands, I have like a wrist support thing. So I'd washed that and it was still on the clothes horse. So I hadn't quite packed that. And then I have electrolytes that I mix with my water just to keep my muscles hydrated and whatever. I hadn't mixed it in my water bottle. I hadn't done any of that. Usually I'm so prepped because I know Wednesday is a crazy day, right? So everything's already in my gym bag. But because I had 3 hours to kill this particular day, I hadn't done any of that. And because I had done laundry, so my gloves went in my gym bag, it was just, well, long story short, I left the house 6:15. It was not funny. And that Wednesday, if every light could have been red, I think I got every red light between here and where I parked my car. So that was 2. Number 3, just outside my complex, I don't know what was going on. They had some kind of filter traffic system going on. I don't know whether it was roadworks or what it was. It took me, what should have taken me 10 minutes, took me almost 20 from my front door. So I thought to myself, oh my God. So I should have been where I parked my car by 6:30. By 6:30, I wasn't even anywhere close to where I parked my car. So I knew I was going to be at least 20 minutes late at the standard, right? So forget that I left the house at 6:15. I was already a quarter of an hour behind schedule. This was going to add on another 20 minutes, right? So I thought to myself, okay, what do I say to my personal trainer? I'm meant to be there at 7. That's clearly not going to happen today. I'm not going to make it for 7. So this was me, and you can't, well, I don't know if you guys have the same thing in the US, but here you can't use your mobile phone when you drive. So I'm stuck at these lights and I'm thinking, okay, should I record a message? Because I can't type a text. There's just no way I can do this, right? So anyway, I thought to myself, okay, you know, I'm just going to record a text. So the phone was on my lap and I pressed the microphone thing. And I just said, you know what, I'm running 20 minutes late. I didn't even bother giving an excuse because I just thought there's no lie I can say. I mean, this is all my fault. If I had left at 6:15, I probably still would have made it because I'd worked in, you know, the walking time. I could have sped up my walk. I would have gotten there for 7. But anyway, long story short, I kept him waiting. I got in at 7:25. So what should have been a 7 p.m. appointment became a 7:25 appointment. Now, how my personal trainer still has a smile for me at this time, all I can say is God bless him. Because if it was me, I'd be huffing and puffing and I'd have given me a good talking to. But he had a smile and he was like, you know what? That's fine. I know you work hard. I know you work crazy hours, blah, blah, blah. You're here. Let's do this. Now, I want to believe he didn't make me pay for keeping him waiting by the weights and the machines we worked on last Wednesday. I really want to believe this. But a part of me feels, man, he must have chosen the hardest machines in the gym that day. Because usually I heard for the next 2 days, right? So I know Thursday is a total washout. I can't lift my arms, my thighs. I think I crawl the next 2 days. And I'm glad I work from home at the moment. So I don't have to wear heels. I don't have to run for a bus. Nothing like that, right? But I kid you not, up until Saturday, I was still aching in places I didn't know I should hurt. I was so sure that was my comeuppance for keeping him waiting 25 minutes. I didn't want to say anything, but in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, this was his way of getting me back, right? So note to self, he may have had a smile for me. Maybe he didn't give me a hard time on the machines, but I clearly felt it. So by Saturday, when I had to go back for the next weight session, I said to him, dude, I hurt so bad. There is no way I can do a weight session today. I actually canceled on him. I said, this body cannot lift. I'm taking painkillers. He was like, but we didn't do much on Wednesday. I said, speak for yourself. So I skipped Saturday. I just thought to myself, you know what? I'm not doing Saturday. I physically could not. I just thought to myself, there's just no way. So what I want today is, what kind of work avoidance examples can you come up with? And what solutions have you potentially put in place to get you out of that work avoidance mode? Because for all of us, we will have those moments. It's either we snooze the alarm or we drag our feet in the house where we say, oh, the weather is not this, or it's not perfect for a walk, or it's wet outside, or it's windy, whatever it is. We come up with many reasons why we don't do what we should do when we should do. Right? So I've given 3 examples here of this is my life, the last 3-4 weeks, right? I mean, I've given examples, snooze the alarm, kept the gym instructor, the personal trainer waiting, even at work, what I know I should do, what I get paid to do, I haven't done, right? We all go through this, right? But somehow we need to come up with solutions that get us out of that rut. Because like John says, how we do some things is how we do everything, or how we do one thing is how we do everything, right? And if we let that mindset carry on, it will filter into other areas. And we'll find that in our businesses, that one email you don't want to send because you probably don't know, have I worded it right? Should I really send it? Or that one phone call you don't want to make because you're like, I don't know how that conversation is going to go. Really don't feel like speaking to this person right now. Whatever it is, there's that one thing we don't want to do. But we know we have to because it's part of the process, right? And until we do that, we're not really moving forward. We're not getting on with things. We can't take done to that one thing, right? So I want people to give me examples of when they've avoided work avoidance. Like, what have you avoided doing? And if you've put some kind of solution in place to get you out of that rut, out of that mindset, please share with the family, because I bet you're not the only one going through that. I mean, when I said who snoozes the alarm, the number of hands that went up, I was so glad that I wasn't the only one. Oh my God. I thought it was just me who did that. I was so pleased to see that I was in the presence of company, family. Thank you for making me normal, because I thought I was the only one who did that, right? So please, let's share whatever solutions we have come up with, because I am sure you'd be helping at least one JLSM family member with whatever solution has worked for you. So I've given you 3 examples. I mean, I try to make this light, but you know where I'm going with this. If we don't get this right, it can end up jeopardizing how we achieve some of our bigger goals. It can add time to the process that sometimes we can't afford, right? And it can just make the whole journey harder, less fun, like more arduous, where you kind of like almost give up on yourself because you just haven't done what you're meant to do when you were meant to do it, right? So that's what was coming up for me today, because I've done this like gazillion times in the last 4 weeks or so, and it's just been crazy. So I've been giving myself multiple pep talks to say, snap out of it, girl. So yeah, Virginia, you are up.
Okay, so are you gonna, I'll lower my hand. I put in the comments that we must share a bloodline somewhere in history. Okay, you've described everything I do, and I'm trying to analyze. Okay, I mean, see, these are owls. I'm in my pajamas. It's 10:23 in the morning here. I got up after snoozing several times about maybe almost a couple hours ago, and I'm still having my cup of coffee, and I'm doing stuff here on the computer, and I'm sending emails. So that's part of the risk of working from home too, you know, is you need to get dressed and get focused and put on your makeup, and I don't always do that. So I have felt that the reason I have work avoidance, and it is kind of like somebody telling me, this is what you have to do. And maybe we're more entrepreneurial types and we want to be our own bosses and we don't always want to be following all the corporate rules during the corporate time. I actually find that when 5 o'clock comes, sometimes I'm relieved that my day is officially over. And then I'll have some dinner or something, and then I'll start working. Because now I don't have to. Now no one said, oh, you got to get this done. But so I don't mind doing it in the evening. I'll, you know, put my feet up, watch TV or be on the computer, and I'll be doing some paperwork or something that I did not want to do earlier, but I know I have to get it done. So I'll do it in a more enjoyable way. Trying to know myself. Okay, so if I know myself, for instance, as I have shared, I gave 3 weeks notice that I'm stepping down yet again from kind of semi-retiring. And so I thought, if I don't start now with my 3 weeks notice, lining up everything and getting it allocated and getting it finalized, I know it's going to be the weekend of Memorial Weekend here in the United States, and I'm going to be still having all these things I haven't gotten off my desk that need to be finalized. So that really has helped me. And I feel like I'm on track. Today is going to be a day that I get a lot of the last details out. And then I'm actually out in the field the next few days handing clients over to other case managers. So I should be done by before the weekend. What else did I want to touch on briefly? I don't want to take up too much time, but the snoozing has gone on just forever, you know, just at the last minute. And then I tell myself, okay, wallet, cell phone, keys, which is what we used to say in nursing school. Make sure you have your wallet, your cell phone, and your keys. But I don't actually look for it. I just kind of do a mental checklist. Okay, wallet, cell phone, keys, get in the car and go. I don't have my keys. Because I said it, but I didn't actually look to verify that, yes, you did have those, you know, and where is your cell phone? Why are you verifying stuff in your head if you're not actually verifying that you do have the things? So just kind of knowing myself like that, okay, I really do have to stop and look for it, not just say it in my head and go off as though it's magically in my purse. So just little things like that. But yeah, it's a great topic, work avoidance. And I feel too, those of us that have an entrepreneurial spirit maybe struggle with that more.
That's an interesting concept. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like I said, when I started, I can stay awake for days on end and I can work through the night. But just ask me to get up in the morning for, oh my God, it's like you've asked me to climb Mount Everest. I'm like, why? Set an alarm and get up. But I just, yeah, no. But ask me to meet a deadline where I have to work all night and all weekend. Oh, without, I don't even have bat an eyelid. I'll do it. But to set an alarm to wake up at what I call ungodly hour, oh my God, I'm like, kill me now, somebody, please. I can't.
I can't stay up for days, but I can stay up till 2 or 3 in the morning and just keep going because I'm on a roll.
Yeah.
And I don't want to stop. I feel like going to sleep is a waste of my time. Can't I just plug myself into a charger somewhere, you know, and charge my batteries while I'm still functioning? Because to then let that go and go to sleep and then have to get up and start all over again is like a slower process to get running.
Okay.
Yeah, we're related.
I'm convinced we're related. Our family lines, we need to check out that ancestry. But yeah, okay. We've got some ancestors in common for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right,
thanks, Virginia. Ali, you're next.
Hi. Oh, Ivié. I have just been absolutely struggling with this. I have got to call hundreds and hundreds of schools for our it's my theatre company. We're doing a show at Christmas, and I am trying to sell an online version of our show to schools. And it is the most tedious job in the world, and if I had a virtual assistant, I would pass it on immediately to anyone that could. And I literally, my whole body is just picking up the phone to have to do it. It's just awful. And just today, so last week I thought, right, consistency, a little at a time, just every day. So I put down, right, you're going to call 20 schools a day. So I did do that for 3 days in a row. But then the other 2 days, other things come up, and it's always my priority, and I'm fighting fires, emergency fires, rather than the planning. And then just today, and I hadn't written it into my planner this week, and then suddenly I realized today, oh my God, I've got to do this every day. I've got to do these schools. And then something caught my attention again. I'm having to do stuff at the weekend, and it got to past 4 o'clock, and then of course it's pointless ringing schools at that time. So and I thought, oh, I haven't done it again. So I'm absolutely going to. This has got me fired up now. So I will do it. I will do my 20 schools a day until I have finished my list of hundreds and hundreds.
Wow. Yeah, I feel you. I just hear hundreds and hundreds of calls, and I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, yikes. So yeah. But the thing is, you have done it. So you have the track record that you can do it.
Yeah.
For 3 days, you stuck to that 20 calls a day. So you can do it. The evidence is there. Nobody can take that away from you. You've done it before, so you can do it again. 1. 2, you already said it wasn't in your planner. Now,
Yeah.
like John says, if you haven't scheduled it, it's not going to happen. If you haven't set time aside to get it done, it won't happen. Same here. If it's not in my to-do list for that day, if it's not in my diary, if it's not programmed into my phone or whatever it is I'm using, it doesn't get done. I mean, yesterday I was saying to John, I did shopping from Costco. And now usually when I bring the things in, I store them away because I like stuff in their place. Everything has its place. I have a storage cupboard. So it's not like I have to create space for this stuff. The dedicated space is there. I just got into this, I don't know whether it was lazy mode or what. I just left the stuff in the hallway. It took me stumping my toes again and again and again and using some very colorful language before I said, you know what? I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of this stuff in the hallway. It will get put away today. And so I did it on Sunday, right? But I had to make the time to do it. For as long as it wasn't on my to-do list, I walked into it, never around it. I bumped right into the stuff and hurt myself in the process and then swore. And I'm thinking, you don't usually talk like this. What is wrong with you? Just put the stuff away, right? But it took me making the time to do it on Sunday. Now it's done. So I didn't stump my toes yesterday and I haven't stumped my toes today. And I haven't used colorful language, right? So I'm back to normal Ivié, right? So the thing is, 1, you can do it. 2, once it's on your schedule, once it's in your planner, you will do it. And 3, who says you can't get a VA to help you? You can. I can't remember who it was that was saying that they're actually more affordable than we would think.
Well, yes, but we, as a theatre company, we literally have nothing. We're minus. We're doing the Brighton Fringe this weekend, so we've had to put money out, and we've got absolutely nothing coming in. So I've got to. I will work on that, and you know, try and get it. It's going to take a while to get through.
Can you share it with some of the people in your group as well, or is that your assigned task?
No, it's not my assigned task, but basically I run the company on my own. So there are 2 other people, but they just don't do.
Okay, fair enough. Like that. Well, I know you can. Once it's in your planner, I know you'll do it because you've done it before. So I
think it's also that eat the frog thing. So get it done first thing.
Yes.
And get it out of the way so that I don't have a chance to make excuses throughout the day.
Absolutely. But well done. You've told us.
I will try.
So we will check in with you. We will check in with you. Family, remember. Let's support Ali through this process. Boomsang, you're next.
Hi, Ivié. Hi, everyone. Hello. This topic today is so like, oh my gosh, it made me smile and laugh because I am like, hello, queen of procrastination. And I mean, recently I've shared like, it's a problem because I think sometimes I am really too hard on myself, but I know the issue, but then it's like, gotta fix it. But queen snoozer, but can stay up and like freaking just work, you know, and get it done. Like just bring it and get it done. And, you know, and it's so bizarre because I think my issue is I cannot will it to happen. Like, I somehow have to be in the mood and then I'll be like on it, like not eating and get it done. And that's where, I don't know, I just have to figure out how to get into that flow state to consciously rather, because it just doesn't work if you can't bring it when you need to. It's so annoying. But I think for sure, like what your strategy of forcing accountability on yourself, like by telling the boss and making them a partner so that you essentially get it done. Because it's like, you know, I need to do that more, but I'm trying to figure out, like, because right now, you know, I've shared that I'm looking for a new role. Like, how do I create that for myself, like at home, you know? And it's like some days I feel great and like I'm very productive, and then some days I'm kind of feeling really down and honestly not getting much done. But what I realize is part of it is, you know, all the strategies that's been shared, like put it on the calendar so that you don't overcommit. Because that was one of my issues. Sometimes I underestimate, and you're like, dude, there's no way you could have gotten this whole list done. Having the 2 done is already a lot. Why do you have 5 things? Of course you're not gonna finish. Of course you're gonna feel shitty, pardon my language, that you didn't get, you know. But so I still working on it. But at the end, what I realized is it's probably a combination of really identifying what are the most important few, and out of those things, one, if you had to just do one well and done, what is it? And so at least I really understand that. And then what I've been doing is kind of laughable, but I plan my day out very by hour. Joke is never stick to it. But because I'm not over scheduling, and it has, you know, if I end up not having that right energy and creative mindset this time, but later in the day or even the evening, hell with it. So I get it done, but yeah, okay, it's at like a weird hour and I'm up till like 2 in the morning. But because I technically, yeah, so it ends up working out. I don't know, it's not ideal to be up in the morning working on like PPC, like keywords and all that. But yeah, it definitely helps to do the forced accountability thing. Like even if there's no deadline, forcing yourself to have a deadline, forcing yourself to put in blocking the time out, and realizing, because I am very much energy, how am I feeling in order to be able to start accepting that. And yeah, okay, be productive if I'm not going to do it then, but then, you know, try to get myself in a state where I can catch up and start, because it's the starting that's the toughest, because once you start, it's not a problem. And any suggestions, and like with the start, please share, because sometimes it's like,
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what have you ever, how do I want to phrase this? Have you ever like taken time out to maybe write down or outline how you feel in those moments where you're in the zone? Like what things get your juices flowing? Because you said that there's certain times where you just know you can bring it on, and you're just in that mindset and you can go. So it's almost like if you can identify the factors or the environment where you're in the zone, what is it that clicks into place? What does your energy level feel like? You know, what do you feel on the inside? What are you thinking about at those times when you're in the zone? I mean, like when I gave the example about going for the walk, what I've started doing now is playing my music in the house.
That's great. I like that.
As opposed to starting my music when I'm outside the house and I start walking. So already before I leave the front door, I'm already, you know, the music is going and I'm already moving to the beat. Even though I'm just walking around the house, I can't help it. If the music that's playing I like, and I know the words to the song, I start singing. And before I know it, I'm moving and I'm like, oh, well, you've already started moving. You might as well go out for the walk now. And I find I'm out the door. I'm not thinking about it. I mean, yesterday, and I'll tell you this, I did almost 20,000 steps in one go.
Wow.
And it was raining. I took my umbrella. My sneakers still got wet. My socks still got wet. But guess what? I finished every lap I said to myself I was going to do. Why? I had the music playing before I left the house. So I was already upbeat. So, and I knew I was going to take my umbrella. When I started walking, it wasn't raining. But because of the kind of weird weather we've had, I thought, you know what? It's going to start raining when you're walking. So just take your umbrella with you. And as soon as I said, I took the umbrella, and I think I was on my third lap, it started drizzling. And I thought, do I need to open the umbrella yet? But the music was still playing. So I was still walking to the beat, right? And then it got harder. And I thought, you know what? Open the umbrella. Now, at that point, my mind said to me, it started raining. Your shoes are going to get wet. Your socks are going to get wet. Your feet are going to be cold. You can go home now. You've already done 3 laps. And I said, no, that's why I brought the umbrella. Why? Because I was already in the zone. The music was playing. I was in tune. I was almost halfway through what I was doing. And I thought, I can't quit now. I've done more. I have less to go than when I started. So if I just carry on, I'll be done before I know it. Before I know it, I'd done the 5 laps, you know, like I had, so when I do 5 laps, I do like 2 different routes is 1 lap, right? And I was on the 3rd circuit of what I was doing. And I could have decided to come back in because it was raining really hard by this time. But the music was so good. I picked up the pace. My umbrella was fine. Okay, fine. The shoes were wet, the socks were wet, but I was like, you know what? I'm almost done anyway, that I carried on. Now, if I hadn't done that, and it was raining that heavily before I left the house, I may have changed my mind. So I know for me, music is a big part of getting me in the zone, especially when it comes to physical exercise. When it comes to walking, even doing dumbbell exercises, whatever in the house. If I have good music on, I'll do what I need to do. But if it's quiet and, you know, it's raining and it's dark and the curtains are drawn, that's just perfect sequence, perfect excuse, you know, culmination of factors. I won't do anything. But once that music starts going, I wake up, right? So maybe for you, find out what it is that gets you in the mindset, that gets your juices flowing. That would be one idea for me. And there's nothing wrong with doing your list later on in the day. If you find that's when your thoughts are more gathered, that's when you're more productive, there's nothing wrong with that, as long as you get it done. Because for some of us, I mean, I know I'm a night person. I mean, I do my best work at night. I write my best papers at night. I don't know why, but I think maybe I can hear myself think, maybe because everything is quiet. I don't know what it is, but I just function better at night. Tell me in the morning to do anything where I need to concentrate, it's almost, I'm like, really, I'm not even awake yet. How can I start thinking about, you know, but tell me at night, you want this done, quick, it'll be out. I'll do it. And I can stay awake like you, right? So I know how my body likes to work. As long as I tick done next to that thing, I've done it. Whether I did it in the morning, at night, but for me, if I want to enjoy the process, it's better when I do it at a time where I know I will enjoy the process. Because if I do it in the morning, not only am I going to hate what I'm doing, I'm not going to like myself very much because I won't be happy on the inside if I have to do it. So the days where I have early meetings, I'm miserable. I'm not a happy camper. But if I have meetings later on in the day, that's when I come alive. I can talk. But morning meetings, I'm usually very quiet because I'm not awake yet. You know, so if you think about what it is that gets you in the zone, I don't know, it might help. Family, any other ideas on what Hung Sang can do to get her juices flowing, to get her checklist done, to be more productive?
To launch, the launching. It's like,
have you tried? I think one thing for me is deciding what I'm going to do for that half hour. So not just sitting down at my desk and having a list and trying to think, you know, looking at it and, you know, thinking, right, I'll do that. It's something like it's kind of assigning half an hour to do that task. So you've got a bit more of a day. It's not so wishy-washy, nebulous in terms of time. You know, you've got, right, I've got to send whatever off to, I've got to design an email or whatever. Right, this half hour, I am going to design that email. Bang. And almost, I think, I'll always remember this. Adrian Garner was talking about before getting to work, think of it like getting ready for a race and physically getting really ready for a race. And so physically you're engaged. You're not just floppy sitting down on your seat. Physically, you are ready for work, and that half hour you are going to do that email, and bam. Because I find that I get so distracted with emails. It's all work. It's all work. I'm not getting distracted from anything else, but it's all work. But I've got to be. I realize now how focused I've got to be for that task. So that nothing else that comes in will take me away from that task for that. So setting half an hour. And if I don't finish it in half an hour, then I could do another half an hour. But just making sure that in my mind, I know this half hour is only for that, being utterly focused on that task. I found that has helped, just a mental thing. I don't know, we've talked before, haven't we, about the Pomodoro app? I don't know, have you tried that at all as well?
I not consistently, but I'm gonna revisit that just so that I try it. I think part of it is really the whole getting started. I think and it's probably a mental thing with certain tasks, like the getting started is tough, but once it's started, I can keep going. But being in the start, and maybe it's that whole 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, like applying everything that we read about. Don't wait, just do it. Like I don't know. I need to like figure it out.
And I think it's a physical thing as well. I think, you know, in a lot of these things, these workshops and stuff, they say get up and shake about and really
getting literally the blood flow
and really do it, you know. I think that helps, because just sitting down at your desk and just looking at your list, and there's a bit of a lethargy to it, isn't there? But really getting physically engaged, deciding exactly what you're going to do for that half hour, not a bit of this and a bit of that on your list, you know, specifically for that half hour you are doing that. Turn all the notifications off everywhere, focus. I find that quite helpful.
Thank you so much, Ali.
Thank you.
Hong Sang, hopefully those were good suggestions. And
yes,
those.
We'll try.
Perfect.
Oh, thank you, Virginia, for the share. I'm going to read that, the circadian rhythms thing. Thank you. That's probably it. That's why we're night owls.
Edward, you have your hand up. You're next.
Okay, can everybody hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. First of all, I agree so much with what everybody's saying. What I would like to, you know, possibly ingest is something from a, you know, not quite up to date like we are. Everybody is so, you know, advanced on computers and everything as far as in this group. And I feel like a, you know, old fogey as far as what we do. But what I've learned is that the ritual and routine that we establish every day is going to allow us to get in that mood, that mode. I've got written down, you know, meditate and read first thing, visualize as far as where you're trying to go, affirm the visualization. And then, like you said, incantation and music is, you know, the engine that gets you going. And then you do your DMO, your daily mode of operation. And what I put together, what I put together a long time ago, before computers or before apps and all that sort of thing, was a DMO sheet that I you know, have been trying to perfect. And what it does, it talks about, you know, the 15 phone calls I need to make because in my business, it's very important to reach out. And then the appointments you have established, and then the pending projects that you have all of them written down, and you pretty much just check them off as you go. And then you got them all categorized as like interviews, preparation, phone time, study time, motivation, prospecting, industry help, community help, and then your family. And all these different categories you got to work on. You work on them every day. And what you do is you categorize everything in different sections. And as you get them done, you check them off. That has worked for me for a long time. And what I will tell you that right now, because we're trying to transition to the web, it's taking me kind of off that schedule. because, now I'm trying, I've got my ad up on Facebook and all that kind of stuff, trying to get, I guess, present day acclimated. That's what I'm trying to get done. And I'm getting it done, but it's just a slow process. And, get people to bite on my ad and getting them to, get involved in the CRM and all that sort of thing. But like I said, these are the mechanics of all the stuff that we see on the internet. You've got to, put each one in a category. And, this group gives you so many insights about, exactly where you're trying to go and what you're trying to do. Like one of the other insights I got was, let's see, as far as the clock every morning, okay? This is so easy. And that is, number one, set it an hour before you want to get up, okay? And then you can snooze for 45 minutes if you want to. But you got to get up. Say you want to get up at 6:30. Well, set your clock to 5:30, and you'll wake up and you'll be, oh man. But you feel good about snoozing because you've got another hour willing to snooze. You don't want to get up at 6:30, but you set it for 5:30. It's a way of psyching yourself out, and you'll start getting up even earlier than you really want to. So that's really the easiest way to do it. Just take your snooze button and set it an hour earlier than you want to get up. And then it's amazing how that'll just turn into the habit that you really want to be. And it goes along with what we're doing right now in CEO Freedom. That is the 3 habits you want to, create and cultivate. They're really just all tied together. So I thought I'd share that.
Perfect. I like that. Set your alarm for an hour before when you actually want to get up. I promise to try that, because that will be me. Then I can snooze for a whole hour and still get up on time. Thank you so much, Edward. That was fantastic. I definitely will be doing that, because I already set my alarm an hour before I need to go out for my walk or my run or whatever. So if I just do the same thing with waking up time, I think that would work. Yeah, thank you so much. It's brilliant. Does anybody else have any other workable solutions that they'd like to share with the family? Otherwise, I'm happy to give you 7 minutes back. The only other thing we have tonight, it's 9 p.m. Eastern with Wayne. That's Metaphors for Success. So for as many as are able, we will see you on there. Otherwise, till tomorrow, general session. Have a good one, everybody. Thank you so much. Bye.